Hi everyone, this is Frank Demora. This is part 2 of what I call Zechariah 12:3. And if this is the first time you've been at my webs or the YouTube videos, please go to my prophecy site, which is BibleProphecyMan.com. And once you're there, you'll be able to scroll down to see the reports that I'm reporting on, and you can also link to my free book, my documentary that took 33 years of work to put together, but it is filled with evidence and proof that Christ is the Messiah and he's returning soon. We're running out of time. Now, one of the prophecies is Zechariah 12:3, where it said that the last days the world was going to come against Israel. And I want to show you that that's the case. If you've already seen the first video, you get a good understanding of what is happening. Another world leader has turned against Israel, and this is Venezuela's president, Chavez. And I'm just going to read you what it says. Chavez described Israel on Saturday as the genocidal state that acted as an assassin for the United States, predicting that the Middle East nation would one day be put in its place. Now, when he says put in its place, there is no clarification about this in this news report, but let me tell you what he is talking about. Israel is watching Chavez link up with those very nations who are linked to the Psalm 83 war. Chavez has made relations with Iran, very, very close relations with Iran, who is, as you know by now, at least I hope you know by now, Iran has stated on countless times that he is going to annihilate Israel. This is the same kind of verbiage that we're seeing in Psalm 83, where they say we are going to wipe out Israel as a nation so it doesn't exist anymore. And so Chavez has come together with Israel's enemies that are named in Ezekiel 38, that war, and in part he is fulfilling exactly what Zechariah said. Nation after nation were going to be turning against Israel in the last days until everybody turned against Israel. It says the socialist Chavez is a harsh critic of both Israel and the United States, and cut relations with Israel after accusing it of the Holocaust of its 2009 offensive in the Gaza Strip. Now, this is where Israel took over 7,000 rockets from the Gaza into Israel, landing on their people, the Israeli people. They waited over a year, 7,000 rockets, before they retaliated to stop those rockets from coming on their people. Now, I don't know of any other nation who would wait that long and receive that many rockets before retaliating. But when they did retaliate, you would think that the news media would cover exactly how these events went down. But we very seldom ever heard any of the news reports saying that Israel took 7,000 rockets before. The only time that you're going to hear that kind of news is coming from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from Israel when he's reporting that, but it's really very seldom reported in the press. And it's biased, it's one side, and you need to have the whole scope of what happened. And in this case, where Chavez was pointing to the 2009 attack, if you were in his position, you would have done the same thing. And I relate it to this way. How long do you think a sitting American president would wait before he would retaliate against another nation who sent 7,000 rockets in Washington, D.C.? I mean, it's not a brainer. It's a no-brainer knowing that they're going to have to react to stop somebody who's trying to kill you. That's exactly what Israel did, and they became the aggressor. They became the bad guy, and obviously they were trying to protect their people. But this is part of the agenda of the world's, Israel's enemies. They want to make them look bad. So Chavez goes on to say, it is a threat to all. Now, speaking of Israel, it says, it is a threat to all of us. Chavez said that during the visit by the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Now, Assad, Syria, is mentioned in Psalm 83. They are going to play a major role in the Psalm war. As a matter of fact, Isaiah 17:1 says that Damascus is going to be completely taken out, leveled, left in a ruinous heap. And here we have Chavez hooking up with this man. Now, Venezuela isn't anywhere in that Psalm's prophecy, but I'm showing you the connections that he's making, because nations are coming against Israel one by one, just like the prophet said that was going to happen, until all of them are going to be coming against it. And he goes on to say that he supported a peaceful struggle for the return of the Syrian of the Golan Heights captured in 1967. And so we're going back to what Zechariah said now, because 1967, these Arabs lost Jerusalem. Okay? They want Jerusalem back. Syria wants Jerusalem back. The PLO wants it back. Iran wants it back, because to them it is their third holiest site, right there on the Temple Mount. So they want it back. And so we again see the burden of Jerusalem, what the real reason for wanting to destroy Israel, so that they can regain their holy city of Jerusalem. But Israel is not going to give Jerusalem up. They took it in 67, and they're not going to give it up. And on the bottom of this, or the last portion of this article, I'm going to read this. It says, Chavez did not offer further details of what putting Israel in its place. I mean, what he is saying here is there wasn't any details of what he meant by that, but I already told you, because he knows that the Iranians and Israel's enemies are planning war against Israel. They're trying to get that done. They will get it done, obviously, by what the word of the Lord says. But we know that it is coming up very, very soon. It says, put in its place, what it would mean. U.S. attempts to isolate Syria and reshape the Middle East have failed, he said, and Israel was fast losing allies. Okay? Again, scroll down, read this. I highlighted in purple. And Israel was fast losing allies. We see Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 3, where all the nations will be coming against Israel in the last days. They are losing allies. If you read my post, if you read my book, you will see that the United States is turning away from Israel, slowly but surely. And the more, or the longer the failed peace process continues, and Barack Obama does not get his way to divide Israel into two parts, giving part of it to the Palestinians, the more that continues, the more aggressive Barack Obama will get, and the more that he will turn away from Israel, and the more he will demand Israel give East Jerusalem back to the Palestinians, and demand that Israel separate or divide, which again is going to keep the curse on America, because we know from Joel chapter 3, anyone who does that is placed under that curse. Now, when you scroll down underneath that article, you will see the list of the nations who are going to be involved in that attack. And just read them. It gives the old names, and it gives the modern names of where they are, who they are in our generation, so that you understand and have a firm grasp of what's going to happen in their future. The Lebanese are, as you know from the article today, that they are also involved. Syria is involved. Iran will be involved later in the Ezekiel war, but it is coming. Zechariah 12:3 is being fulfilled. Now, I'm also going to cover, when you scroll down, Revelation 9, chapter 9, verse 21, about this generation being the drug generation. So scroll down and I'll cover that.